So,
Yeah. I hate getting called love.
oh, do you? Okay. Are there
Yeah, I hate
other
it when
things you
old
can?
men, I just hate it when men call me love.
Okay.
It's usually the older men. Oh, yeah, love. Or sh probably don't get Sheila as much
No.
these days, but you used to get Sheila a lot
Mm.
too. I hated that as well. Or,
I use a lot of
yeah.
those terms, and I know a lot of people hate it, so I've got to try and remember who hates it and who doesn't. So,
I hate it when I go to in, well, it's the men, the old men. I
oh,
hate when they call me love.
yeah,
Doesn't worry me, friends.
yep.
But
Okay,
and the
so
other thing that irritates me is when I go, it's even worse. Like at least if it's an old man that does it, I just think, oh, it's just part of your generation. Because I actually know they don't mean anything by it. So
yeah,
I never react to it. It's just internally I don't like it.
yep.
But I tell you the other thing that I really dislike even more is when you go into a cafe or somewhere like that and someone's serving you and it's a girl and she calls you love. I just think, oh, I hate that. Call me love. I'm not your love. You don't even know me. I'm just a customer on the other end of the
Yeah,
counter.
yeah.
So isn't it funny what irritates us?
Yes, because none of that bothers me. And sometimes I use the word mate. I remember being in Western Australia going
Mm,
through a checkout, and I said, "Oh, thanks, mate. That's great." But at that
mm,
stage, I was living right out bush, and so I
mm.
was really used to that bush thing. And he kept saying it back to me, and I didn't realize he's having a dig at me. I just thought he was being,
Oh, was he?
and
Yeah,
and as I left, he said,
yeah,
"Yeah, mate, you'll be right." And I went, "Oh, you're being mean." It's like
yeah.
because the intent. I think that's what we've got to look at sometimes is the intent.
Well, that's right. That's what I always do. I never like people that are in customer service, if they're being kind and
Yeah,
nice and they just
yeah,
happen to call me love, they would never know that I cringe on the inside.
yeah,
It's just something I don't like for
yeah,
whatever reason. I just
mm,
don't know. I
yeah,
just look and think, well, I'm not your love. You
yeah.
don't even know me. You don't know my name. And that's why
Well,
they call
that's
you love, because they're trying
exactly.
to connect. They're trying to be nice and
Yes,
kind.
in
So,
their
and they
world, that
don't know
is
your name.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
that
So
rant
I would
about
never
it.
be nasty to anyone about it. I
No.
just don't like it.
I've seen people rant on social media about it though, and I just think, well, just say thank you. My name is.
Mm,
You know, what's your name? And we can call each other by our first names. It's yeah.
mm.
We just need to be more accepting of people, but we seem to be getting less accepting, or some of us do. Yeah.
Well, that's right. It's okay to have these things that are cringe factors. It's just that we don't need to,
Respond.
the whole world doesn't need to know that that was a cringe factor
Yeah,
for you.
exactly.
When
Yeah.
it's just like, not when it's not malicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mm.
because somebody could call you by your name and be nasty.
Oh God, I get that all the time. Not all the time. Every so often I will come across, and it's always been a male, an older male that will find out my name is Dorothy, and they'll start calling me Dorothy, assuming that it's going to offend me or upset me. And it's like they keep trying and trying and trying, and it's just like, yeah, what do you want? Like, it is my name. I don't care. I'm not D because I hated well, I'm D because someone called me that once and it just stuck. I
Mm,
prefer D,
mm,
but yeah. But it's that
mm,
once that comes back to intent. It's an intent
mm,
to upset or bother me.
mm,
And
mm,
even if it did, I'm not
mm,
going to let you bloody do it, mate.
mm, mm, mm. So
So,
we do tend to like to give people in our sphere nicknames, don't we, in Australia?
oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I rarely get called anything other than Sonia, though. Occasionally, people might call me Son or Sonny. When I was young, I didn't like people calling me Son.
Mm,
Um, there was only one friend I had that I let her call me Son, but
mm.
that was, yeah, that was because that was what my dad called me, I think, and it
Okay.
was just like that was Dad's name for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Um, but as I've got older, it doesn't faze me if someone were to call me Son or Sonny, that's all right. But they just
Nothing
don't. And is
nothing
that
comes
because
to
I
mind. It's a
Yeah, is it just because I introduced myself as Sonia and I just am Sonia?
I don't,
Occasionally I would get called Warnie.
yeah, I don't know a substitute for Sonia. I don't think I've ever heard the Sonias I've known have all been Sonias, like never had
Mm,
another
mm.
name. I mean, I got mine because they called me Dodie at Witchery because they were two really old ladies and they didn't like Dorothy, so they called me Dodie, which
At
sounds
least I didn't call you
awful.
Dottie.
Well, it just, yeah, and it just shortened. Tony's family
Yeah.
all called him Anthony. Only a couple of
Mm.
people called him Tony, but he introduced himself as Tony to me. Yeah. I remember one friend in Western Australia, she decided to name her child Ben because she hates shortening of names. So she
Mm.
named him Ben. Well, we're in Australia. Generally, if you've got a short name, it's going to be lengthened. So he was
Well,
Benny
that's right. I
Benno.
was going to say, I bet it's
Oh,
Benny.
it was everything. It just drove her nuts. And the
Yeah.
reality is, people are going to end up with different names a lot of
Mm,
the time. Yeah.
mm,
So,
mm.
I mean,
Yeah, well, mostly I,
yeah,
yeah, rarely get called anything other than Sonia. So,
yeah.
yeah. And Granny now, because I'm a granny.
Ah, isn't that wonderful? I get called nanny by the owners of the dogs that come to visit in reference to the dogs.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah, yeah,
dog nanny.
yeah, yep, yep, yep,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah.